Welcome to BOKERMAN, your go-to place for captivating stories, thrilling book adaptations, and exciting serialized adventures. Whether it's mystery, fantasy, sci-fi, or drama, we bring stories to life one episode at a time. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Join the BOKERMAN community and dive into your next great adventure. The forest was dense and unforgiving as Ava led the group deeper into the unknown. Morning mist curled between the trees, blurring the world into shadows and whispers. Jackson's leg throbbed, but he kept pace. Riley rode silently beside them on the scavenged motorcycle, eyes sharp, scanning every movement. The armored man, whose name still remained a mystery, moved with practiced ease, a silent sentinel watching their backs. Behind them, the river's rush faded into memory, but the weight of the canister pressed heavy on Ava's mind. This place? Jackson broke the silence, voice low. Feels like a trap. Ava didn't answer immediately. We need to find allies before the hunters catch up. Riley nodded. There's a resistance out west. Small group but well-armed. They've been watching the government's moves. Ava glanced at the canister nestled in her pack. If we can reach them, maybe we have a chance. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes made them freeze. Weapons raised, they waited. From the shadows, a young woman stepped forward, hands raised in peace. "I'm Leah," she said softly. "You're not the only ones running from the storm." Leah's eyes flicked nervously as she studied the group, her hands still raised. "I've been watching you. Heard about the canister." Ava lowered her rifle slightly but stayed cautious. "Who are you? Why help us?" Leah glanced over her shoulder, then back. "The resistance, people who want to end Protocol Zero's reach. We've lost too many." Jackson shifted, wincing at the pain in his leg. "How many?" "Enough," Leah said bitterly. "The government's hired guns, private militias. They're all out there hunting." The armored man's visor reflected the fading sunlight. "What's your plan?" Leah took a deep breath. "Safe house, just a few miles west. We can regroup, plan next moves." Riley checked her bike. "Sounds good. But how do we know it's safe?" Leah smiled faintly. "It's hidden. Old subway tunnels repurposed. No signal, no tracking." Ava nodded slowly. "All right, but once we're there, we need answers. What exactly is Protocol Zero?" Leah's expression darkened. "It's more than you know. And the deeper truth, it's worse than the virus." From behind them, distant engines roared. "Trouble's coming," Leah warned. The roar of engines grew louder, tearing through the quiet forest like thunder. Ava's heart hammered as she motioned to move. "We don't have much time," she said, tightening her grip on the canister. Leah led them swiftly through tangled underbrush, the fading light making shadows dance like ghosts around them. Jackson hobbled but kept pace, his face set with grim determination. Riley's motorcycle echoed behind, a blur in the dimming light. Suddenly, the trees opened to reveal a hidden entrance, a rusted grate partially concealed by vines. "This way," Leah whispered. They slipped through, descending narrow stairs into the cold darkness. The subway tunnels smelled of damp earth and forgotten secrets. Dim lights flickered overhead, casting eerie glows on cracked walls. "We've been here for months," Leah said. "No signal, no eyes from above." Ava glanced at the others. Safe, but not for long. Footsteps echoed from deeper in the tunnels. Weapons ready, they moved cautiously. Around a corner, a group of weary faces emerged. Men and women armed, tired but resolute. Their leader stepped forward, a tall man with piercing eyes. "Welcome to the resistance." The leader's eyes scanned Ava's group with a mix of suspicion and hope.
"I'm Marcus.
"We've been fighting in the shadows since Protocol Zero went live." Ava stepped forward, keeping her voice steady. "We have the canister. It's the key to everything. We need to know how to stop this." Marcus nodded slowly. "We've heard rumors. Some say it's a cure, others say it's a weapon. But what it really is a choice." Riley exchanged a glance with the armored man. "Choice," Marcus sighed. Protocol Zero isn't just about survival. It's about control, who lives, who dies. The canister you have can tip the balance. Jackson winced, his legs still throbbing. So, what's the plan? Marcus's gaze hardened. We strike at their supply lines, cut off their resources. But first, we need to understand the enemy. Ava looked at the glowing canister. And if we fail? Marcus's voice dropped. Then humanity is lost. The room fell silent, the weight of their mission settling in. Outside, distant sirens echoed, a reminder that the fight was far from over. Plans were drawn under flickering fluorescent lights. Maps covered tables, marked with red circles and scribbled notes. The resistance members moved quietly but with purpose. Ava traced a finger along the map, pointing at a series of supply depots clustered near an abandoned airfield. If we hit these, it could cripple their operations. Marcus nodded. Their convoys are heavily guarded, but we have the element of surprise. Riley checked her rifle, loading fresh rounds. We'll need diversion. Jackson, can you manage? Jackson grimaced but smiled. I'll make it work. Leah handed Ava a small data chip. We intercepted this from a drone. Intel on their next moves. Ava inserted the chip into a portable reader. Coordinates blinked on the screen. This is it. The armored man remained silent, watching. His visor gleamed under the harsh lights. Suddenly, the bunker's entrance shook. Heavy footsteps pounded outside. Contact! Someone shouted. Ava drew her rifle. They found us. The resistance scrambled, weapons raised, ready for battle. The bunker's steel doors rattled under heavy blows as soldiers forced their way inside. Ava's team took positions, covering every angle. Jackson fired steady bursts, pinning attackers behind overturned crates. Riley moved with lethal precision, taking down anyone who breached the perimeter. Marcus barked orders, rallying the resistance fighters. Hold the line. Don't let them in. Ava crouched behind a control panel, eyes sharp. The canister in her pack felt heavier than ever. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the bunker's entrance. Smoke and debris filled the air. We're compromised, Leah shouted. The armored man moved toward the exit. We can't hold them here. Fall back to the tunnels. Ava grabbed the canister. Everyone, retreat. They fought their way through choking smoke and flashing gunfire, retreating deeper into the maze of tunnels below. Behind them, the enemy surged forward, relentless and unyielding. The tunnels swallowed them whole, echoes of gunfire fading into distant thunder. Ava led the group through winding corridors slick with damp and shadow. Jackson's breathing was heavy, but he kept moving, leaning on Riley for support. The armored man covered their rear, every step cautious and deliberate. Leah glanced over her shoulder, eyes wide. They're not giving up. Ava nodded. We need to find a secure spot, somewhere they won't follow. The group stumbled into a cavernous chamber, walls lined with old machinery and rusted pipes. Flickering lights cast eerie shadows. Marcus appeared from the darkness, motioning urgently. There's an emergency hatch here. It leads outside, but it's risky. Ava's gaze hardened. Risk is all we have left. They approached the hatch, lifting the heavy door with a screech. Outside, the night air was thick with fog, the distant howl of unknown creatures piercing the silence. We move fast, Ava said. The forest won't hide us for long. As they slipped into the mist, a low growl rumbled nearby. Eyes glinted in the darkness. The hunt wasn't over. The fog clung to their skin as they moved silently through the forest, every step cautious, every sound amplified in the thick mist. Shadows shifted among the trees, barely visible but undeniably there. Leah held a small flashlight, its weak beam cutting through the gloom. We're not alone, she whispered. Ava scanned the surroundings, rifle raised. Stay sharp. We don't know what's waiting. Jackson limped but pushed forward, his face pale in the faint light. Riley rode beside them, her eyes darting in every direction. Suddenly, a guttural growl echoed from the trees, followed by the snapping of branches. The group froze, Out of the mist emerged several large figures, twisted, pale, eyes glowing faintly. Creatures mutated by the virus, hunting the night. "Run!" Ava shouted. They sprinted through the underbrush, branches clawing at their faces and clothes. Behind them, the creatures gave chase, relentless and terrifying. Ava led them toward an old cabin barely visible through the trees. Inside, now, they slammed the door shut, barricading it with fallen logs. Breathing hard, they listened as the creatures prowled outside, claws scraping and snarls echoing. Jackson leaned against the wall. "This just keeps getting worse." Ava nodded. "And it's only the beginning." The cabin was dim and musty, shadows flickering from a small, sputtering fire Riley had managed to ignite. The group gathered close, nursing bruises and exhaustion. Leah sat on a creaky chair, eyes scanning the cracked window. "Those things, they're evolving. Faster than we expected." Ava rubbed her temples. "If they adapt this quickly, we're running out of time." Jackson grimaced as he examined his bleeding hand. "We need more than a hideout. We need a plan. Something that can end this." The armored man, still silent, surveyed the group. Finally, he spoke, voice low but commanding. "The facility we destroyed was just the beginning. Protocol Zero is deeper, spread across multiple sites." Riley shook her head. "Then taking out one won't stop the rest." Ava clenched her fists. "We have to find a way to expose them all." Outside, the creatures howled again, reminding them the nightmare was far from over. Leah's voice was resolute. "We fight, no matter what." The fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows on tired faces. Outside, the forest remained ominously silent, as if waiting for the next move. Ava pulled the canister from her pack, its faint glow pulsing like a heartbeat. "This isn't just a virus," she said quietly. "It's a message, a weapon, a choice." Jackson winced, trying to steady his injured leg. "And everyone wants it, for different reasons." Leah paced near the window, voice low but fierce. "The resistance is small, scattered. We're fighting an invisible war." Riley looked up from cleaning her rifle. "But if we expose Protocol Zero, if the public knew the truth, it could change everything." The armored man leaned forward, voice steady but heavy with warning. "Truth is dangerous. They'll do anything to keep it buried." Ava met his gaze. "Then we fight smarter. We use their secrets against them." Suddenly, a sharp knock echoed on the cabin door. The group tensed, weapons ready. Leah whispered, "It's not them." A young boy stepped inside, eyes wide but determined. "I'm here to help." Hope, Ava realized, often came from the most unexpected places. The boy's presence shifted the room's tense energy. He was no more than 12, clothes ragged but eyes sharp and alert. "I know where they're hiding," he said quietly. "The ones behind Protocol Zero." Ava lowered her rifle, studying him carefully. "Who sent you?" He shrugged. "No one. I just want to stop the nightmares." Jackson frowned. "What nightmares?" The boy swallowed hard. "They come in the dark. People disappear. The ones with the canister, they want control, but the virus, it's alive. It changes." Leah stepped forward, skepticism in her voice. "How do you know this?" The boy's gaze hardened. "I've seen it. My village was destroyed. I escaped." Riley nodded slowly. "If he's telling the truth, this could change everything." The armored man remained silent, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of concern. Ava took a deep breath. "Then we have a new mission. Find the source. End this." Outside, the wind whispered through the trees, carrying the weight of unknown dangers. The boy led them through narrow forest paths, moving with surprising surety despite his small frame. The canopy thickened above, blotting out the pale daylight. "Where exactly are we going?" Jackson asked, limping but determined to keep up. The boy glanced back, eyes steady. "To the heart, the place where they control everything." Ava exchanged a look with Riley. "The heart," Leah nodded. "The central hub of Protocol Zero's operation. If we take that down, Maybe we stop this nightmare. The armored man adjusted his gear. It won't be easy. The heart is heavily guarded, protected by layers of security, both human and other. Riley's face tightened. Other. The boy's voice dropped. Creatures. Mutated. Once human, now something else. They patrol the perimeter. As the forest grew darker, the tension mounted. Every snap of twig, every rustle of leaves sounded like a warning. Suddenly, a chilling howl pierced the silence. Ava raised her rifle. We're not alone. The hunt for the heart had begun. The howl echoed again, a primal, bone-chilling sound that reverberated through the dense forest. Ava's grip tightened on her rifle, every muscle coiled and ready. The boy motioned urgently. We need to move faster. They're close. Jackson, limping but determined, pushed ahead, scanning the underbrush. These creatures, they've adapted. Smarter than before, Leah whispered, and more aggressive. Riley revved her motorcycle softly, ready to provide backup. We can't outrun them forever. The armored man signaled for silence, his visor reflecting the dim light filtering through the trees. We set a trap. Draw them away from the path. Ava nodded. Good. We split up. Riley and Jackson create a diversion. The rest follow the boy. They moved swiftly, shadows melting into the forest's dark embrace. Riley and Jackson kicked up a flurry of noise, darting between trees, luring snarling beasts into the open. Suddenly, a net sprang from the underbrush, ensnaring one of the creatures. A grenade exploded nearby, scattering the pack. Meanwhile, Ava, Leah, and the armored man pressed forward, heartbeats echoing in their ears. The path led to a towering steel fence, guarded by twisted figures lurking in the shadows. The heart, the boy whispered. Ava steadied her breath. The final assault was imminent. The steel fence loomed ahead, tall and imposing, wrapped in barbed wire and shadowed by watchtowers. The creatures lurking nearby moved with unnatural grace, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Ava signaled to the group. We'll need to breach here. Quietly. Leah pulled out a compact device, a scrambler designed to disable security cameras and sensors. This should buy us some time. The armored man scanned the perimeter. But time is short. Reinforcements will arrive soon. The boy crouched beside the fence, fingers brushing over a hidden panel. I know the code to the gate. Riley's voice crackled over the comms. Diversion successful. No sign of pursuit yet. Ava nodded. Good. Let's move. With a soft hiss, the gate slid open, revealing a sprawling complex bathed in harsh artificial light. Pipes crisscrossed overhead, and the hum of machinery filled the air. Inside, sterile hallways stretched into darkness, punctuated by locked doors and blinking consoles. Ava felt the weight of the mission pressing down harder than ever. This was the heart of Protocol Zero. Every step forward could be their last. The steel fence loomed ahead, tall and imposing, wrapped in barbed wire and shadowed by watchtowers. The creatures lurking nearby moved with unnatural grace, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Ava signaled to the group. We'll need to breach here. Quietly. Leah pulled out a compact device, a scrambler designed to disable security cameras and sensors. This should buy us some time. The armored man scanned the perimeter. But time is short. Reinforcements will arrive soon. The boy crouched beside the fence, fingers brushing over a hidden panel. I know the code to the gate. Riley's voice crackled over the comms. Diversion successful. No sign of pursuit yet. Ava nodded. Good. Let's move. With a soft hiss, the gate slid open, revealing a sprawling complex bathed in harsh artificial light. Pipes crisscrossed overhead, and the hum of machinery filled the air. Inside, sterile hallways stretched into darkness, punctuated by locked doors and blinking consoles. Ava felt the weight of the mission pressing down harder than ever. This was the heart of Protocol Zero. Every step forward could be their last. The chaos of gunfire echoed through the sterile hallways, metal clashing and shouts blending into a cacophony of desperation. Ava ducked behind a console, heart pounding, her breath ragged. Jackson fired steadily, providing cover despite his injury. Riley moved with calculated precision, her shots picking off enemies one by one. The armored man's movements were swift and lethal, cutting through opposition like a ghost. Leah was by Riley's side, scanning monitors, trying to hack into the facility's systems. "We need to disable the lockdown," Leah called out over the noise. "Help me keep them off." Ava glanced down at the glowing canister, feeling its ominous pulse. "We're close. We can't fail now." Suddenly, a deafening explosion shook the corridor, sending debris flying. Smoke filled the air. "We have to move," the armored man shouted. Together, they pushed forward through the smoke, knowing the fate of everything rested on their shoulders. The blast had torn open a side wall, revealing a hidden lab filled with humming servers, cracked glass tubes, and strange, half-living remnants suspended in fluid. The air was thick with chemical rot and the faint buzz of electricity. Ava stepped cautiously inside, sweeping the room with her rifle. "What the hell is this place?" The boy pointed to a massive central console. "This is where they control the spread, where they decide which cities survive and which ones burn." Leah stared at the monitors. "These aren't just labs. They're command nodes, linked to every major outbreak zone." Riley's fingers flew across the terminal. "If I upload the data we collected, it could trigger a remote purge. Shut down Protocol Zero from the core." Jackson leaned against the wall, pale and sweating. "Do it, while we still can." The armored man stood guard at the broken door, visor glowing. "You'll have minutes before backup arrives." Ava handed the canister to Riley. "Use it. If this is the last move we make it count." Riley connected the device, and the countdown began. The countdown flashed on the screen, 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Every second ticked like a heartbeat echoing in Ava's ears. Riley's hands moved fast, guiding the canister's interface through the security layers. "I'm initiating a chain purge across all Protocol Zero nodes. Once this completes, their system collapses." Leah glanced nervously at the lab entrance. "That's if we live long enough to see it." Outside, the sound of boots grew louder. Reinforcements were coming. The armored man raised his rifle. "I'll hold them." Ava turned sharply. "You stay with us. We go down together." "No," he said, calm and resolute. "You finish the mission." Before anyone could stop him, he stepped into the corridor and sealed the bulkhead door behind him. Jackson cursed. "He's buying us time." The screen blinked. 1 minute and 43 seconds. Suddenly, the facility shuddered. A mechanical voice announced, "Self-destruct protocol armed." Riley's eyes widened. "They've overridden the failsafe. If we don't finish in time, everything, including this data, goes up in flames." Ava looked at the canister. "Then we hold the line, no matter what." The countdown ticked on, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Sparks rained from the ceiling as the facility groaned around them, systems failing one by one. Ava steadied herself beside Riley, eyes locked on the screen. "Just a few more layers," Riley muttered, fingers dancing across the keyboard. "This encryption is military grade." Jackson, despite the blood seeping through his pant leg, raised his rifle at the door. "We're not dying here. Not today." Behind them, Leah accessed another terminal, pulling up the global map. Red dots marked every Protocol Zero control node. "If this works," she whispered. "Those dots go dark." Ava glanced toward the sealed bulkhead. Somewhere beyond it, the armored man was holding back the full force of enemy troops alone. "Come on," she said under her breath. "Just a little more." 37 seconds. Suddenly, a shrill alarm pierced the air. The door beside them blew inward, metal shrapnel slicing through smoke and sparks. Soldiers stormed in. Ava and Jackson opened fire immediately, covering Riley as she kept typing. Leah threw a flash grenade. The room exploded with white light. "Now, Riley," Ava shouted. "I'm in," she cried. She slammed the execute key. The countdown froze. 8 seconds. And then silence. For a second, nothing happened. Then the screens flickered. One by one, the red nodes on the global map went dark, dots blinking out like dying stars. Riley stared at the data feed. It's working. We triggered a chain reaction. Every Protocol 0 facility is shutting down. Ava exhaled, chest heaving. Is it over? Leah stepped to the window slit, peering into the smoky corridor. The soldiers. They're retreating. They lost command. Suddenly, the canister in Riley's hand pulsed once, bright, then dark. It was empty. Jackson slid down against the wall, laughing bitterly. We just brought down a global system with a kid, a virus, and some worn-out bullets. The sealed bulkhead hissed behind them. Everyone turned. The armored man stumbled through the smoke. Armor scorched, bleeding from the shoulder, but alive. No one spoke. They didn't have to. They'd made it. Outside, the skies were still gray. The world was still broken. But now there was a chance to rebuild, not under fear, not under control, but together. Ava looked at the group, wounded, changed, but still standing. This wasn't the end, she said softly. It was the beginning. And in the silence that followed, hope took root.